Feels like everyone thinks we're going to start, so we might as well. Call to order. Roll call, please.
Belsley.
Here.
Dobb.
Here.
Hare.
Here.
Herman.
Here.
Kaufman.
Here.
Newhouse.
Here.
There is a quorum.
Pledge allegiance.
I slid back and each one.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There are no public hearings tonight. No special reports to be presented. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a comment? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to pull something from the consent agenda, which contains the minutes of a previous meeting and some bills? Anyone of the Board of Trustees want to pull anything from the consent agenda? Can I have a motion to approve?
Move approval, Your Honor.
Second by Randy. Call it.
Belsley.
Yes.
Dobb.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Kaufman.
Yes.
Newhouse.
Yes. I have nothing tonight. How about the village clerk?
Per section 3312 of the raffle ordinance, which we just passed recently, we have two waiver requests which have been submitted. The waiver requests are, instead of providing a fidelity bond, and the organizations that have requested these are Jefferson School PTO and the Lincoln School PTO.
Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Randy seconded. Could we have discussion on this?
Is this something that we're going to eventually run into with the other grade schools because they also
Yes, I have two more for the next meeting already.
So, okay, we just...
I can't imagine the school PTOs defaulting.
Yeah. So,
Well, I can't imagine the school PTOs defaulting, but I can't help but think that, we just passed the ordinance and, immediately we've got requests for waivers. So what is the precedent that we're setting? If it's just for schools, I guess I don't have any problem with that. But I think there's I don't know if it's a major concern, but it's we're immediately talking about waivers for something that has been a fairly emotional subject.
Do you want to comment on that?
I have no comment on that.
Yeah, I guess I can agree, but they're not waiving the process. They're just waiving one part where they
I
were
understand.
supposed to get a bond. Did you want to say something, Sam? I'm sorry. Tom?
No, I just wonder, we have it in there for a purpose, and why, should we be waiving it or not? I was going to ask Tom what he thought and what his opinion was.
Well, actually, it's in there because our friends in Springfield have it in there. It's just a provision. I mean, I would think that the school, being a public body, would be distinguishable from
But it's
other
the one part of it,
organizations.
it's the PTO, which isn't part of the school, so that would be the one. If the school itself isn't doing it, it's the PTO, which is a different, organization within that's just the only part of it.
I mean, there is a cost associated with getting the bond. I don't know if anybody has been told what that is, but it would be a definite cost.
It's funny how this worked for all these years without having to have an ordinance in place. And now we have an ordinance that just makes a burden on everybody.
Any other thoughts? This is a vote to exempt them from having to get a fidelity bond. Would you call the roll?
Dobb.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Kaufman.
Yes.
Newhouse.
Yes.
Belsley.
yes.
Village Administrator.
The first item on my list is the approval of the interfund transfers.
for our capital projects. And so tonight I'm asking for $21,000 from the general fund, $50,000 from the water and sewer depreciation fund, and $17,000 from the stormwater depreciation fund to the capital projects fund.
So
Okay.
moved.
Is that you, Kat? Second?
Mrs. Herman?
Yes.
Hare?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Kaufman?
Yes.
Newhouse?
Yes.
Belsley?
Yes.
Dobb?
Yes.
The second item on my list is I am presenting you with the Business District Commission facade grant recommendations. At the end of February, they all got together and they had reviewed all of the facade grants. We had 14 in total, and they had reviewed those and figured out which ones were eligible for funding. And you have that list in your packet. Of the 14, 2 of them did not qualify for reasons such as an incomplete application. There were no bids supplied with one of them. And the other one was that an applicant only supplied 1 bid, and they require 2. They are asking for total funding of the 12 applications in the amount of $43,000, $43,010.25, with total project improvements totaling $182,881.50.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Newhouse. Any discussion on this?
I can say the commissioners have worked very hard to keep that program going and have done a good job controlling it, and I give them full respect for handling it.
Call the question.
Herman?
Yes.
Kaufman?
Yes.
Newhouse?
Yes.
Belsley?
Yes.
Dobb?
Yes.
Hare?
Yes.
The third item on my list is the approval of the actuarial valuation of the police officers pension fund by Gabriel Roeder Smith and Company in the amount of $8,000. We are required by state statute to do this on a yearly basis. This helps us determine how much we need to levy from property taxes to cover the police pension. So Gabriel Roeder Smith has done a very good job. We're in the middle of having to change something, and so I'm asking for approval.
So moved.
Jeff?
Second.
Second by second. Any discussion on this? Call it.
Kaufman?
Yes.
Newhouse?
Yes.
Belsley?
Yes.
Dobb?
Should I vote on this or not? Tom? Or should I abstain?
I abstain.
Okay.
Abstaining, okay. And Hare?
Yes.
And Herman?
Yes.
The ayes have it. The deputy chief is with us tonight.
I have one item, Your Honor. We'd like to ask permission for the Bethel Church to do their first annual fun run walk to use the village streets that will occur on March 29th.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Is that you, Sam?
Randy.
Okay, good. Randy. Was a tie between them and trustee Newhouse.
Okay.
Any discussion? All in favor? Better call the roll.
Newhouse?
Yes.
Belsley?
Yes.
Dobb?
Yes.
Hare?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Kaufman?
Yes.
Does corporate counsel have anything tonight?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Fire and emergency.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Director of Public Works.
Yeah, I got 3 items tonight, Your Honor. First is I'd like to ask for permission to request bids for water distribution materials. This is for our annual work that our water distribution department will do this summer. You'll get a chance to approve that later when the bids come in, but in order to get the work going, I'd like to ask for permission to get those out on the street now.
So moved. Who's second? Can I get a second?
Second.
Randy?
I think it was Sam.
Sam?
Sam.
I'm not looking at you, I can't tell.
I look over there and you look over there and we'll.
I thought he was being funny. That was a good one, Joe.
We don't really have to vote on that, do we? It's just a consensus to go out
The
for bid.
consensus
Yeah,
is good.
I think,
Yeah,
do we
don't
have a
need motion.
consensus and everyone certainly wants you to do that?
All right. Next item, I'd like to ask for permission to extend the small customer transportation agreement with Panhandle Eastern Pipeline Company for a 3-year period.
So moved.
Second?
Did you get that?
Yes, I did. I got it.
We're having way too much fun tonight.
Moved and a second by Mr. Kaufman.
Any discussion or questions? I think we can call this one.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
And lastly, I'd like to ask for permission to extend the in and out storage agreement with Panhandle Eastern Pipeline for a 5-year period. The first one was more of a formality. This one is something that we thought about a little bit, but this just, especially with this winter, gives us the flexibility to meet our delivery needs, but more importantly, allows us to avoid, some price risk, volatility on cold and hot days. So especially after this winter, UGM with their guidance too, we feel this is definitely something we should extend at this point.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Is that it?
That's it.
Planning and zoning officer.
I had given each of you in your packet a list of map revisions that everything would have been approved through the board last year. Those include any property that would have been rezoned, any special uses that were granted, plats approved, and then finally any property that was annexed. So upon your approval, they will all be reflected upon our website. Someone can go and see exactly what's there. It'll be all current. I think Jeff's pretty much ready with that, so.
Guess we need a motion for this.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second?
Newhouse, second, yes. Discussion? Call the question.
Hare?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Kaufman?
Yes.
Newhouse?
Yes.
Belsley?
Yes.
Dodd?
Yes.
Any other items?
No, thank you.
Trustee Belsley,
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
trustee Dobb,
Nothing tonight.
trustee Hare,
Nothing tonight.
trustee Herman,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
trustee Kaufman,
Nothing tonight.
trustee Newhouse.
Your Honor, I'll make up for those who have nothing on the issue. I have 3 items. The first is petition 14-01 SP. That's a special use permit for the operation of school and church at 325 East Queenwood. This is the Lutheran school. It goes with the new church. Installation has been part of the planning since they built the school, unanimously recommended by the Plan Commission, and I move to approve.
Second.
Second by Jeff. Any discussion on this? Call the question.
Herman?
Yes.
Kaufman?
Yes.
Newhouse?
Yes.
Belsley?
Yes.
Dodd?
Yes.
Hare?
Yes.
Okay. Next item is petition 1402 SP, another special use. Trustees will recall that about a year ago, we discussed a special use permit for the old Restmore property, which would be converted into a retirement center along the lines of Brandon Wood. The residential property does not provide medical care, simply a retirement living facility. The plans are virtually identical to the last time. Substantial investment and improvement in the property, interior, exterior, by a responsible company, Miller Valentine. So we are simply at this point renewing the special use that we granted last year. The special uses expire at a year's end if they aren't used. And again, if you remember, it was delayed because there was a problem with certain filings between the seller and the buyer with the state. I think that would have facilitated a grant. So they have renewed, the grant cycle's come back around, they've renewed the deal. This would be good for Morton, good for for the use of Old Westmore, and extremely good, in my view, for the neighbors who live around there who've been concerned about the property. Recommend approval.
Second. I'm pleased to see this coming back to us again.
Any questions? Call it.
Kaufman?
Yes.
Newhouse?
Yes.
Belsley?
Yes.
Dobb?
Yes.
Hare?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Third item, Your Honors, ordinance 1331, an amendment to the municipal code which would allow car washes in B2. They previously were specifically excluded. And I have to confess, I continue to have mixed feelings about this revision. I had expected the Plan Commission to make a sort of a detailed review. It got brief discussion, and the consensus seemed to be, or the 3 or 4 people who voiced it carried the argument that, well, we make the amendment revision, and we will deal with the car wash issue on a case-by-case basis as the special use applications are made. And that's okay, except we all know that once you create the special use, you've now opened the door for the use. We have 2 B2 zone areas where this could potentially go. I'm not sure I'm opposed to it, but I'm not sure I'm entirely comfortable at this point. So I move to return the question to the Plan Commission for further review, but if any of my fellow trustees want to amend and approve tonight, I will not fight the argument.
I'm fine with Your Honor. They compared it similar to gas stations we've allowed in B2. And I think with the zoning and control over it, I think you'll get a better building, more landscaping, and we'll get them where we want. And we have the authority by case, correct, Roger? We can refuse special use.
Yes, we can refuse a special use. So it would be judged on a case-by-case basis.
So we have
Morton's always
two
been good.
viewpoints here. Have we got anybody else who'd like to weigh in on this?
I would echo Trustee Kaufman's sentiments there. I see this similar to the fuel station just a few hundred yards away. It's on a private roadway right now, and I understand this certainly someday could be on a public right-of-way as well. I think where the location is right now, that's under review.
But we're not voting on that location.
I understand.
We're simply voting on an
I
amendment
understand.
that would
But
change the ordinance.
I understand, but I guess I'm looking at comparable uses in that same area, in the same vicinity, and I don't have a problem with this.
Anybody else have a comment? So we have.
I actually have a comment.
Go ahead, weigh in.
Well, I looked at the zoning map, and there are some little islands of B2. One kind of downtown, one out by the Kroger, some at Birchwood and Main and Birchwood maybe area, and then Field Shopping Center. And are there others, Roger, that I mean, there's a variety of locations throughout Morton. Am I missing any other significant? Okay. And I realize that the automotive service stations would be a permitted special use, and this would be similar. Although, as I looked at that map, I think a car wash as being proposed would be maybe okay in some of those areas, but not in all of them. They have to be considered on an individual basis of each petition. I don't know, the car wash, is there a certain number of bays that, is it unlimited number of bays that would be allowed? I mean, as opposed to, like, say, a service station or something. I'm just trying to think about the amount of traffic. Is this a comparable? Would you say that the service station garages would be a comparable to what's being proposed?
Well, I realize that we're talking about a special use that would be in any of the B2, but the in the particular case that that prompted this, the drawing that they show has a stacking ability, if I remember right, it was like 27 cars. And it's all, that would be all contained on their property. But with the special use, you would have, those are all the types of things that you would be looking at, the plan commission would be looking at. Stacking ability, could be landscaping, it could be some other things, depending on the site. Maybe it wouldn't be appropriate, probably, for example, the empty lot that's down by our office, that's probably not the place to have the car wash. But that's why with the special use, going through their public hearing process with the plan commission, then a recommendation to you folks, then sort all those things out.
Well, I understand Trustee Newhouse's concern. There are some unanswered questions, but I think the saving grace of this proposal is that each petition would be considered on its own merits in its own area, and as part of the special use process, we can put on whatever parameters the plan commissioners would recommend, or we could control it in that way. So I'd be comfortable with this because we would have the option to review each case individually and then have the neighbors of that particular area be notified and actually be able to weigh in.
Any other thoughts?
Trustee Newhouse, it seems to me the easiest way to deal with this would be to vote it up or down. If it fails, then you can take it back to your commission and deal with it. I'm not trying to ignore your
That's
original
satisfactory to
proposal,
me.
but
I mean, there are arguments both ways. You know, the gas station is a legitimate argument. There's also, I think, an argument about it really fundamentally changes something about the way we do zoning. And while I don't expect it to be cataclysmic, it does give me a certain amount of concern. So I have no problem with doing that. So we
out of curiosity too, is there, you don't need a specific case right now, but by approving this, are we going to be opening ourselves up to other cases coming back to the, you know what I mean? Is this?
Well, every special use will come back here with a recommendation from the floor.
Has there been action taken before of up or down votes that on whatever it might be on taking action on this that would actually put other stuff back in play and put us? You're giving me that look, Tom.
I'm not aware of any, and I think Roger pointed out the obvious differences between this one site and a simple B2 lot that there would clearly be distinguishable, but ultimately it's up to the board to decide. I think as Trustee Newhouse cautioned when this first came up is look at this first in the abstract and try not to relate it to what may be a forthcoming request, because there may be a lot more questions. But as Roger said, those can be addressed and, if appropriate, safeguards added to ensure that the zoning is not dramatically, or the usage isn't dramatically altered.
Any more commentary? I guess we need a motion to approve.
You need a second, I think.
Well, Jeff, is your the motion to approve?
I can make a motion to approve.
Because we had two motions at the same time. All right, let's call Jeff the motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Randy Belsley, second. Now, what you're going to do is vote to approve this. If it fails, then Trustee Newhouse will take it back to the commission, rework it. Call it.
Newhouse.
No.
Belsley.
Yes.
Dobb.
Yes. Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
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 Buckland.
Yes.
The vote is 5-1 in favor.
Okay, so that resolves that question, and our applicants for the individual site and then proceed with the, or new ordinance in place. There was a question, Mr. Attorney, how soon they may apply for the ordinance that becomes effective immediately?
If you want to make another motion to publish this in pamphlet form, it would be effective immediately instead of waiting for however long it takes to get in the code book.
So moved.
Second by Belsley.
It would
Motion.
seem there's no reason to further delay them.
Publish ordinance in
Pamphlet form. Would anyone like to comment on that? Call it.
Belsley,
Yes.
Dobb,
Yes.
Hare,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Kaufman,
Yes.
Newhouse.
Yes.
Has anyone got anything else to contribute? There being nothing, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. I need a second for that.
Second.
Second, Mrs. Herman. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.